Did WWE just hand Tiffany Stratton the most undeserved victory in SmackDown history? Because what happened on the 26th of September wasn't just a match, it was highway robbery that's got the entire wrestling world asking one question: how does someone who got dominated for 80% of a triple threat suddenly walk out as the winner? Let me paint you the picture of what should have been Jade Cargill's crowning moment, and how WWE Creative managed to snatch it away in the most frustrating fashion possible. This isn't just another match recap, this is about exposing the politics behind the ring that left two powerhouse competitors looking like absolute fools. Jade Cargill walked into this match with 58 straight wins. 58. That's not a typo, that's a legitimate undefeated streak that puts most legends to shame. She's been bulldozing through competition like they are training dummies, and frankly, she deserved better than what she got served on SmackDown. Then you've got Nia Jax. Love her or hate her, this woman has been carrying SmackDown's women's division on her back for months. She's the enforcer, the destroyer, the one competitor who can legitimately claim she fears nobody in that locker room. When Nia steps through those ropes, grown women suddenly remember they have somewhere else to be. And Tiffany Stratton? Don't get me wrong, the girl's got talent, she's got charisma, and she's definitely got a bright future ahead of her. But what she doesn't have is the credibility to hang with two absolute units like Jade and Nia in a high-stakes triple threat match. Here's where it gets infuriating. For the first 12 minutes of this match, Stratton was getting tossed around like a rag doll. Jade was throwing her signature power moves, Nia was bulldozing through both competitors like a freight train, and Tiffany was doing her best impression of a pinball getting bounced between bumpers. Quick question for the comments: who do you think was actually controlling this match for the majority of the time? Drop your answer below because I guarantee 90% of you saw the same thing I did. The match started exactly how everyone expected, Jade and Nia immediately sizing each other up while Stratton tried to stay out of the crossfire. Smart strategy, right? Wrong. Because while she was playing it safe, Jade was showcasing exactly why her undefeated streak has been the most impressive accomplishment in women's wrestling this year. Cargill hit a pump kick on Nia that would have decapitated a normal human being. The sound echoed through the arena like a gunshot, and for a moment, even the irresistible force looked resistible. But here's the thing about Nia Jax: she doesn't stay down, and she sure as hell doesn't forget who put her there. The retaliation was swift and brutal. Nia caught Jade mid-move and delivered a Samoan drop that shook the entire ring structure. I'm talking earthquake levels of impact here. The crowd went absolutely nuclear because they knew they were witnessing something special, two unstoppable forces finally colliding at full speed. But where was Tiffany during this masterpiece of hard-hitting wrestling? Rolling around on the outside, playing possum, waiting for her moment like a vulture circling roadkill. Here's what really grinds my gears: the commentary team spent half the match talking about Stratton's ring intelligence and her strategic positioning. Strategic positioning? The girl was getting systematically dismantled every time she tried to insert herself into the action. Tell me in the comments, when did hiding outside the ring become a legitimate wrestling strategy worthy of praise? Because last time I checked, champions are made inside those ropes, not cowering behind the announce table. The middle portion of this match was absolutely phenomenal, and it had nothing to do with Tiffany Stratton. Jade and Nia were putting on a clinic of power wrestling that reminded everyone why they are at the top of the food chain. Every collision looked like it could end careers, every near fall had the audience on the edge of their seats. Jade hit her jaded finisher on Nia, and for a split second, it looked like the undefeated streak was about to continue in the most emphatic way possible. The referee's hand was coming down for what should have been the 3 count that cemented Cargill's dominance. And then Tiffany Stratton happened. Not through superior wrestling. Not through outsmarting her opponents. Not through any display of the championship heart that separates contenders from pretenders. No, she won because she happened to be in the right place at the right time when two better wrestlers had beaten the hell out of each other. Here's the sequence that's going to haunt me for weeks. Jade has Nia down and out. The crowd is going insane because they know they are about to witness history. Cargill goes for the cover, and Stratton, who had been practically invisible for the past 10 minutes, slides in at the last possible second to break it up. But breaking up the pin wasn't enough for WWE's Golden Girl. Oh no, she had to add insult to injury by immediately rolling up a stunned Jade Cargill for the 3 count while Nia was still recovering from the devastating finisher she'd just absorbed. Let me ask you something, and I want honest answers in the comments. In what universe does someone who spent 80% of a match getting dominated deserve to walk out as the winner? Because if that's the new standard we're setting, we might as well start handing out participation trophies at WrestleMania. The aftermath was even worse than the finish itself. Tiffany celebrated like she'd just conquered the world, while Jade Cargill, a legitimate undefeated monster, was left staring at the lights wondering how her 58-match winning streak got ended by someone who couldn't hang with her on her worst day. And Nia? Don't even get me started on how dirty they did the irresistible force. This woman has been booked as an unstoppable destroyer for months, and she gets taken out by a roll-up that a rookie could have seen coming from the nosebleeds. What makes this even more frustrating is the potential we just witnessed get flushed down the drain. Jade versus Nia could have been a legitimate dream match that defined both women's careers. Instead, we got a finish that made both of them look weak to put over someone who frankly wasn't ready for this level of competition. I keep thinking about what this match could have been if WWE had the courage to book it properly. Picture this alternate ending: Jade and Nia beat the hell out of each other for 20 minutes, pushing each other to their absolute limits. Stratton tries to capitalize multiple times but gets shut down because that's what happens when inexperience meets elite-level competition. Finally, after both powerhouses have emptied their tanks, Jade manages to hit a picture-perfect Jaded for the victory, extending her streak and establishing herself as the undisputed queen of SmackDown's women's division. The crowd goes home happy, Jade's momentum continues building towards something truly special, and Nia gets the respect she deserves as someone who pushed the undefeated monster to her breaking point. Instead, we got the wrestling equivalent of someone winning the lottery while better qualified candidates got their applications rejected. Here's what really bothers me about this booking decision: WWE had two legitimate stars in Jade Cargill and Nia Jax, both capable of carrying the women's division for years to come. But instead of building on that foundation, they chose to sacrifice both women's credibility to give Tiffany Stratton a victory she hadn't earned and frankly didn't deserve. Drop a comment and tell me, do you think WWE made the right call with this finish, or should Jade Cargill's undefeated streak have continued? Because I've got a feeling this comment section is about to become a battlefield. The most infuriating part: this could have been avoided so easily. If WWE wanted to protect Stratton while still giving her the win, book it so she actually outsmarts her opponents instead of just getting lucky. Have her use her agility to avoid the big power moves, counter at the right moments, show some actual ring psychology that justifies the victory. But no, we got the laziest possible finish that satisfied nobody and left everyone asking the same question: how does WWE expect us to take Tiffany Stratton seriously as a threat when she needed two monsters to beat each other senseless before she could capitalize? The ripple effects of this booking decision are going to be felt for months. Jade's aura of invincibility is gone, Nia looks like she got caught sleeping, and Stratton has a victory that nobody believes she actually earned. That's not building stars, that's creating participation trophy champions. Final question for the comments, and this one's important: what would you have done differently if you were booking this match? Give me your fantasy booking in the comments below, because I guarantee 90% of you could come up with something better than what we witnessed on SmackDown. This match wasn't just disappointing, it was a masterclass in how to waste two of your most valuable assets to push someone who clearly wasn't ready for the spotlight. WWE had gold in their hands with Jade and Nia, and somehow managed to turn it into fool's gold. What did you think of this controversial finish? Smash that like button if you agree that WWE dropped the ball. Hit subscribe for more brutal honest takes on WWE's questionable booking decisions, and let me know in the comments if you think I'm being too harsh or if this finish was even worse than I'm making it sound. Because trust me, this is just the beginning of what promises to be a very interesting conversation about WWE's priorities and who they are actually trying to build as the future of their women's division.